Okay, well, this is Cafe, this anti-DM. I'm going to go through a module review video for you on this one. This is Tidysheets. So I'll just show you here. Tidysheet 5e. So what is, I'll show you, should have this open already. This is how Tidysheets looks. Bear in mind I do have a UI theme on here, so it does make everything dark themed. By standard it comes the usual kind of sandy paper colour. But this is how Tidysheets looks when we get in. This is all it is. Again, a caveat, I do have some modules that increases these. But if we go, that will be open, to the default sheet, update this. Oh, I see one. You'll see a difference. So this is how the default sheet for 5e looks. That was ups and downs, highs and lows. I personally not a fan of this version. I don't know, it just feels a little clunky. So we'll go back to Tidysheets. We'll go through it a little bit. So you can see that they've changed some of the things. So the layout of the UI is different. So the stats on top rather than on the side. You got your skills here, senses and proficiencies and things like languages, resistances, that sort of thing down this side. It's all tabbed. So you've got inventory, you've got your inventory stuff, you've got a search bar, and you can build things by action, bonus action, reaction and equipped. It's quite useful. Spellbook, and again you can, if you do this, you can see here, so the ones in blue, those are reflected to show that they're always prepared. The ones in green are the ones that have been prepared, and the other ones are just unprepared spells. But it kind of does all that. Features, you got your class level there, and your active features and passive features splits in between, makes it a bit easier to note. One thing to note with Tidysheets is you can favourite things. If you go right click and favourite, what it does, it puts on this list here. So you can see these are all favorited actions. Without them favorited, this is just blank. So you got favorited weapons, features, spells. You can basically favourite almost anything, and then this page is the active effects. You've got one for biography, journal, and another tab for downtime, which is a module. Click on here and it will show you, not amazingly clear, but you can see that it shows you a drop down menu to pick the size of the creature. These are fillable even. Automatically takes the stuff there. Once it takes your level, it does your proficiency for you, speed, okay, and you can change different types of speed. This little section, you can see this is inspiration. If you click on it, it will give them inspiration. This is a exhaustion tracker, and it automatically records these as it goes for giving level 2 exhaustion. We'll see that it also notifies that it has disadvantage on ability checks and speed is halved. And you can see here it's automatically taking that into consideration. These are our rest. This is his hit dice. So you can click on there and it will give you the option for hit dice. If you have multiple levels, it will give you levels in multiple classes. This will give you the option to roll for different ones. Beneath here is temporary hit points. This is your rest button. Hover over it and it pops out to go short rest or long rest. And again, it will recover all the features. And you can see that that's automatically dropped by 1. Your skills are all here. One tick, so it's all a little circle, but if you tick it once, you'll get proficiency. If you tick it again, gives you half proficiency. A third time, gives you expertise. Simple as that. These are all quite simple. You click and you'll get given a list of options. Some of this may be built into the core one, but I just find this works a bit easier. So you can choose what vulnerability you have, what immunity, your martial weapons list. So you can literally select what they have the ability to use. So like for wizards, you can just say it has access to these weapons, so stuff like that. And you got your, and again you can specify what type of armor. Your AC is here. If you click on it, most of the stuff in Tidysheets automatically calculates this. I think it's the same with 5e core. I think this is a core feature, but you can see it puts in a little shield for you there. So that's how it looks for a PC. I'm going to show you how it looks for an NPC. Slightly different, but not much. So rather than having tabs like spell books and stuff like that, it will be on this page here. So it's all on one page for you. Your senses and stuff down this side, your attacks here. Otherwise, it basically follows the same pattern, except from when you have hit dice, if you hover over, you have an editor box, you can choose how many hit dice to make it randomized, or you can just put in a flat value and link that to. On NPCs, you can click on here and select the type of creature or custom one. Swarm size can also be picked. We can use a subtype as well. And if you click on the CR, you can edit the CR. So if one is called to be, say, CR10, it will allocate that correctly and change any effects and stuff like that in relation to that. It also puts your saves here. It's the same on the PC. I missed this bit, but you got your ability save and save and throw. If you hover over, it basically tells you what's what. And the little ticks here are for your proficiency, if you're proficient in a skill, a save even. To edit anything, it's right click, edit, and you can just edit it as complete, and it's pretty straightforward. I won't say it's difficult to figure out. If you port something over to Tidysheets, all this gets done for you. So if you already have a goal, or you put it from the compendium and you're using Tidysheets, this will automatically be updated. Right. I'll show you the options for Tidysheets so you can see what configurations they have. Ooh, tidy, not tiny. Tidysheet. Okay, so we have this little pop-up menu first of all. So you can see when it's a player, you can choose to hide the journal, their class list. You can animate the inspiration tracker, or yes or no, hide the exhaustion tracker when it goes to 0, and you can show inspiration only for hover. Vehicles and NPCs, you can specify if you want resting for NPCs. Useful if you do have like an NPC accompanying the party. So Curse Strad, for example, I currently have Irina accompanying the party, and it's useful for me to be able to rest her rather than having to go into her sheet each time and go, yeah, so hit plus max spell slots and abilities and whatever. Also colour them so you know who they are. You can hide a chat card, the rest one, so if you want to rest an NPC and don't want players to see, do that. These are GM options, so hide death saves. This is another option I've not used yet, but it's intriguing. Basically, when someone clicks on a death save, it'll automatically show it to the GM only and not the players. I haven't got it set up to show you properly like this, but basically if they click it, it will just roll like a private GM roll. They don't know the result, I know the result, and I get to see there, so that's kind of cool. You show player name. So this option allows you to let's see what it is. Yeah, so you can choose to rather than having to right click to edit things, it will put the icons at the bar right at the bar, so you'll have edit and delete and favorite and like prepare. Those will all be on the far side if you choose that option. You can choose to expand stuff. For the item keycards, you'll notice if I open the start lines up here, the cards do this, and you got a lot. You can hold, so you can hold X basically, and it freezes this in place and allows you to scroll. Otherwise, you can choose how you want it to do. You can choose if you want your actor's icon, shows a round portrait or square, how to off hit, set hit points. You can make it so that I can as a GM, you can always edit someone's sheet. Only I can edit active effects. You can show the item quantity. So there's a reason you want to hide something, like if you go to inventory, let's take those off. See here it tells you 1, 5, so I could hide those. You can make it so there's no inspiration at all. Here's the automatic or exhaustion effects, and you can tell how to do it. So you can you do custom. So if you have combat utility belt, it's got an option here to use your built-in effects for exhaustion if you have them. Otherwise, this one's built into the sheet directly. You can hide the exhaustion tracker, and you can show the traits option, which is here. So you can choose to hide some of this. So this special trait button, which I missed the first time, you can choose you can select here which class the character is originally. So if they're multi-class, you can specify this is the first one. And there's some effects for specific classes to have. So Diamond Soul, Monk, Advanced Initiative, Alert feat, Jack of all trades, so your Bard, Observant feat, Reliable for Rogue, Mark of Athlete for Fighters. You can change your crit threshold. So this is where you can do that for the fighters, champion fighter archetype. You can specify that if you put 19 in here, they'll crit on 19 or 20. Spell the same. And then here's something that's quite nice. You can add additional damage die. So if you wanted to homebrew like a magic item that does extra damage on a crit, you can use this. It gives you like extra die on top, which I believe don't get multiplied. And there's spatial traits. You got Elven Accuracy, which is pretty nice. Harping Luck, powerful build. War Magic Surge automating, ignore half cover, which is part of the Sharpshooter feat. Bonus damage macros. This is where you can put in a macro for damage that's general, and these are global modifiers. So if you wanted to make sure that, what's a good one? The fighting style, so the archery fighting style, you can put in here +2. In the ranged weapon attack bonus. Whenever you make an attack, it'll always roll that extra bonus. You can see on here at the moment, because he's got an active effect due to his Paladin aura, he has automatically plus abilities charisma. So that's telling it This charisma modifier is applied to all saving throws. Module options, this is how it interacts. So you can show where do you want it to show up. The first time it comes in, MIDI QL, so you can have MIDI buttons showing, you can have active effects markers. So if we go back to my spells, you can see here this little marker here shows you what has an active effect present or not. It's just a random info tab. So quite useful stuff. So let me just show you a NPC. So when you lock someone, you can see that that list there that had legendary actions has gone. But unlock it. This is where you can specify, so you can select. So if I go, she's got 1 legendary resistance, 1 legendary action, and then lock the thing. You see this stays. And what this does, it just allows you to keep track of resources. So on here I know that she has a legendary action, and these actually pop up in the game, I believe through another module though. But it's a reminder, and you can tick down, you can refer to them. So let me just, let's go to this one. So we edit this. Got the formula stuff, so we want feature usage. So here, so resource consumption. So you can select on here how it's consumed. So in this case, it will be attribute. And it gives you a list of all the attributes. But you can see here, so legendary ledge act value, ledge resist value. So what this is saying, that if I selected this and put a 1 in here, when this ability gets used, it would tick down the legendary action tab value, which is the first one, as opposed to the max by 1, which is kind of useful. You can see here she's been highlighted green to show that she is an NPC. It shows that she's a linked character. You see all these different options at the top. I think these are generally standard though. But this is Tidysheets. I really like it. I think it's a nice theme. It keeps things all together. You can see here it's got all the spells that she has access to. At the bottom it's got a spell DC. You can select with drop down what casting stat is. So Barbara is an intelligence caster, but you can change it and it will show you what level spellcaster she is. You can change that as well. You can edit how many spell slots she has. So if you want to override them, make them more. It's quite useful, and I'll just show you a spell. So if you click on the name of the spell, it pops it out. So rather than having the floating thing, you can just hover and you just pop it down and it will show you. And it takes the card details here. So what creature? So this is kind of, because I have this on floating. So this always kind of floats up around it. Very infuriating. But yeah, it's kind of just an alternative sheet. You can select your alignment and the source. That's probably really it to show you. Obviously, active effects will be listed in here. So we'll go to Start Light and move someone. Effects. See here, it's got all these effects showing quite clearly, and again, you can just right click and remove them. You can toggle it, which will put it into inactive, edit the effect itself, or delete it. But yeah, I think that's kind of it to show you. It's a nice little module. I highly recommend it. It's one of the more functional and I think useful sheets, character sheet options that are out there, but it's entirely up to you guys. I would advise you to check it out at least and see if it's something you enjoyed, like the look of. But yeah, so thanks all for watching. Hope to see you in the next video, and ta for watching. Thanks.